Right. It's gone quite dark. Switch some lights on. JVC come in. Suspected backlight issue. At the moment, the red light is on. It took some time, but it eventually came. Well, the TV is technically on, I believe, so I think it is backlights. It's just over a year old. It was made... I'll check the label on the back in a second. I can't see any picture at all. Oh, it's still on standby. Let me try again. Do we see? Ah, yes, JVC. There we go. I don't know if you caught that. Right. So it's a backlight issue, but it really is just... You can tell on the back label of these, I'll show you. The four numbers in the brackets, 1903. That's the month and the year. So March 2019. It's now June 2020. So 15 months old. And the backlights have gone. Customer also did mention... Well, he said there's a USB missing, but it's a HDMI. I've never known those stop a backlight from coming on. Now, with this being so new, or shall we say newish, I mean, you can understand a Vestel maybe after 3 years of heavy use of the backlights failing. But with this being reasonably new, there's either going to be a loose connection or it's just going to be one LED which is burnt out. I don't think it's worth replacing the whole set. I think, unless there's 2 or 3 gone on separate strips, then yes. The TV's obviously been on dynamic range for 24 hours a day if that's the case. But if it's just a loose connection, which it could be, or if it's just one LED bulb that's out, just replace that. Normally I shout, no, replace all, but this is, you know, 15 months old. Shouldn't be losing its backlights. But let's take the back off it and see what we find. Maybe just a loose connect. There could be a loose connection on the power board, or there could be a loose connection where the backlight's attached to the screen. So we won't know unless we go in and have a play. Interesting bridge rectifier setup. Quite like it when it's with the 4 individual diodes that you can see. Backlight wire runs from there and obviously goes to there, so I'll just tweak that and see what happens. I've never seen this board before. Oh, I've never worked on this board before. I'm not sure if that's the cap and diode, if that's tied in with the backlight circuit. So I'm just going to do some quick measurements on that and see. Nothing untowards on the backlight circuit, really. I have worked on one of these before, I remember now, and it did have a backlight problem, and it was just a loose connection at the back, so... Just going to plug it back in and see what happens. Right, what I'm going to do is turn the TV on. So the TV is coming on, then I'm going to press the either the smart or the menu button. Let's go for the menu button first. Then I'm going to send a feed to the backlights and see what comes up. Right, menu is up. And you can now see that it says no signal. Let's just get the remote, press a menu button, menu comes up. So it's looking like we've got a shorted backlight, and again probably just one, because this is running, I don't know if you can see, I've got this running, I've just put the probes, there's the two backlight wires, .97 volts we're sending to the backlights. No idea if that's enough or not, because I don't know how many backlights are behind there at 3 volts each. But my guess is one backlight has gone short, it wants one replacing, and it's going to be fine. I don't think it's fair to charge the customer to replace the whole lot on these, because I think if it's just over a year old, it's just a blip, and replacing the one should be fine. But to do it, we've got to strip it down, so it's going to take half an hour or so, probably 45 minutes, because it's a Friday. Nobody works fast on a Friday. But let's give it a go. Screen is out. Eight backlights per strip. Oh no, it's slightly different on the middle ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. 10 on the middle ones. So 26 backlights for a 43-inch set. These type of backlights don't usually go. They go high impedance. So let's just check if I can get to them without. That's pulling 21.5 volts. This should be higher because there's more of them. And it is. That's 27 volts, or 26.9. This also should be 26.9. And it is bang on 26.9. What was the first one again? 21.5. And 21.5. All of them taking 98 volts in total. That's driving them kind of on a medium setting. They can take a lot more. They can be quite a bit brighter than that. I reckon we could have. I can't alter the meter, but I think we could give these another 10 volts. Take them to about 110, and they'd still be fine. I can't see any taking extra current, no high impedance. I think the backlights are fine. We did say it was a bit suspect, so I think it's something on the power board. I think the LED driver on the power board has failed. The power boards on these are going to be so darn cheap, I'm not even going to think about soldering in a new LED driver. Soldering a new cat. Hello. How are you? You alright, Misty? You have to come up here, Mist. Come on. I'm sure the customer would love you stamping all over his TV. And we've gone out of focus again. I'll check one more to see if it's a loose connection that we've unloosened. It's not a backlight issue. I'm thinking LED driver on the PSU. Backlights are rock solid at 97.7 volts. I'll measure what voltage is coming out of the LED driver if it's giving anything. Oh. Are we filming this? Are we on? Yes, we are. Did you see that? I've just plugged it all back in, and I'm sure the backlights came up. I am blooming sure the backlights came up, so let me turn it the other way around. They come on temporarily when you first switch them on for a second to light up the JVC logo. What did I say? The last time I did one of these it was a loose connection. And once again it's a loose connection. Somewhere. Somewhere. Right, the backlights are up. I'm just going to see what sort of... The LED tester put 97 volts in to light them up, but I don't think that's enough for full brightness. For full LED-ness. Of course, we've got no way of knowing what setting it's on at the moment. They could be just on eco. It could be on dynamic. Right. So it's giving them what, 117? I said it could take 110, so 117, yeah. I wonder what the setting is. 117 volts, could that be dynamic? I'm wiggling everything around here, not that you want to know that, but and the backlights aren't going out, so it's just blah. I'm just guessing maybe it was a loose connection on the power supply, because I unplugged that and plugged it back in, and it's happened before and it looks like it's happened again. But you would thought if it was loose, I could wiggle it to make it loose and make it go off again, but I can't. So that kind of toys with you, giving the impression that, yeah, put it back together, spend another half hour, screw it all back together, turn it on, and what will happen? Nothing. But I'm not going to read into this any more than what is obvious, and it must have been a loose connection. So let's put it back together, let's check what setting the backlight was on, and then let's give it back to the customer. No parts needed. Just a bit of friendly labour. Normally I forget to put the speakers back in. But I'm getting better these days. Just forgetting to put main board sides in. Right. The only thing you notice about Vestels is it doesn't matter how old or new, there's always a bit of fettling to get them back in. Now, in saying that, I've got to admit that I quite like Vestels. I'm not the Vestel knocker. Cornwall TV, hello. Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, by all means, I'm in. I'm here, so yeah. Alright, cheers. Thanks, bye. Right. Anyway, during the course of that phone call, it clipped back into place. I don't remember, but there you go. The Vestels always need a bit of fettling, a bit of clipping. I'm only going to put a couple of screws in because, as I mentioned, it's normally the case that you put it all back together and it doesn't work. I'm not even going to put the stand on yet. I'm not totally confident. My apologies about the dazzling light coming back. It's just that the sun's just come out. Well, let me show you some sunshine here. Some beautiful sunshine in Cornwall. That's it. It's so bright you're not going to see it. So I'm going to go outside and have a cup of coffee in a moment. Never mind this TV repair work. So let's plug it in, see what happens. Bang. Yeah, well, I don't know. Must have just been a loose connection. Or, of course, there is a second thing that you wouldn't have thought of, and only I would have thought of this, really, being the type of person that I am. I'm just going to try and switch it on with the remote control. We'll test the backlight settings. But if it wasn't, the only thing it could have possibly be, if it wasn't a loose connection, is my dynamic, sensual personality has just swooned it back into operation. You didn't think about that, did you? Yeah. That's what I think it could have been. None of this loose connection malarkey. Right, menu. I haven't seen this menu before. I haven't. This is new to me. Picture. Where's the backlight? Oh, it's on sports. Backlight is energy saving off. Backlight at 100. I'm not going to change it. That's the customer setting. I'll wait for it to come back for a new set of backlights next year. But at the moment, I would call that a fix. A little fix. But no parts needed, so just a labour charge for the sensual healing of the TV through my dynamic personality. You see, the thing is, I laugh about this, but also in the back of my mind I'm thinking, oh, I hope when they get it home tonight it doesn't doesn't go off again, because I can't stand here and say, oh, the fault is A, B and C. I'm just guessing it was a loose connection, and somehow I unloosened it. What do you reckon? Time for tiffin.